Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so disclaimer early. I'm waiting on a phone call that could come at any minute, so this video is likely to cut off at any moment. Um, they're an hour late in regards to calling me, whoever they are. So that's what I want to let everybody know before we get this started. All right, LeBron James. A lot of people are saying a lot of things. As always, the school that he came out with. I don't know why I wanted to say I Heart. That's not the name of the school. Was I Promise. Um, I guess whoever they are, the detractors from the situation, have pointed out that his school hasn't had anyone pass a specific math course in a while. I guess that's LeBron's fault somehow. It's not enough to build the school. He has to teach the kids. You got to pay for everything in their lives, put them through college as well. It ain't enough to build the school. You haven't done enough. Clearly, LeBron, you got to give more. Whatever. They're saying that. Dr. Dre left him off the all-time list. People want to be disrespectful to the king. Far be it from me to, that's above me. I'm not qualified to question Dr. J on basketball. I ain't doing that. But I do think it's motivation, and I want LeBron to take it as motivation because he's a Laker, and we need people to, to respect the king, man. Straight up. This is something that I do feel like it's fair for me to say. I'm gonna back up my guy because he's a Laker. He's been the longest tenured Laker on the team, even though I didn't grow up a particular fan of his because, of course, I was raised on the Laker side of things. So marketing made it so that we didn't like LeBron. Period. That's literally it. But nevertheless, I'm past that, grown man, and he's a Laker now, and I'm riding for the king because I'm kind of offended by the disrespect in a way. But not really offended, just more so eager to see him be motivated by it. I'm not actually offended by it, but I do think he has a right to be offended by it, and I think it could turn into a plus for us. That's exactly the thought. So let y'all talk, man. I just want to see him respond. I probably said some things that he probably didn't like either if he heard me speak. I'm not exempt from saying things that I don't think were positive. But at the end of the day, we root for the king all day long over here because at the end of the day, we want to win championships. He's already brought us one, and we want to get back to the finals. So this is what it's about for me. All y'all talking. All y'all want to leave LeBron out for this and that. Y'all want to put him on this and that. Want to say he's doing this and that. Want to criticize him for how he's handling a crisis with his family. I mean, I just need all of y'all to understand that what I'm looking for from the king is to come back and shut y'all mouths. Now, that's up to him. You know what I mean? Everybody's different in that way. Some people are motivated by certain things. Other people are not. The body may not respond in the way that his mind maybe want to respond or whatever. All of that is possible. He's been playing this game for 20 years at a higher usage rate than any other person who's ever played the game. And it's had more pressure on him than probably anybody who's ever played. So the respect that he's due within that context is real, and I don't hear enough of that. So that's what I'm here to say. It needs to be more of a credence on the stuff that he does right from those of us who are not looking to make a name off of hating LeBron James. And for those who are looking to make a name off of hating LeBron James, there's been a lot of people who've done it. Some have made a name off of worshiping LeBron James. That's just the nature of what it is. But for me, I want all of this to turn to bulletin board material for my team. I want us to look at the stuff that's being said about him, and I want us to be fired up to beat people about it, basically. The frustration is what I would ultimately feel if I was in his corner or if I was him. Like, dog, how much do I need to do to get the respect of some of y'all? Seriously, what do I need to do? And played more than everybody else. I won championship to 3 different places, one of which ain't never won nothing without me ever. And people are questioning whether or not my jersey needs to be retired in one of those, in any of those 3 places. Of course, his jersey needs to be retired in every place he's ever played basketball. Are you kidding me? This is LeBron James we're talking about. You guys should be happy to retire 23 forever. Shouldn't nobody wear 23 anymore? Bron and Michael have worn 23. Ain't nobody else should be wearing that. Period. None of y'all. All of y'all. Take it off. That's where I stand. If y'all want to know how I feel about the number 23, everybody can take that damn thing off. Anybody in basketball needs to take that off. So, That's where I'm at with that. It's like we got to retire these numbers not off of one GOAT, but both of the GOATs. War 23. So yeah, man, that's really where it's at right there. That is the exact truth. I want to say some stuff. I ain't in no position to say that. The words that come to mind for me is the same stuff that Shaq always says. You know, you don't have the clearance to say that. It ain't gonna be received well if you're the voice that says it. But so let me say it anyway, and then I'll just qualify for saying I ain't got no business saying it, so I just wish somebody else would say it. Dr. J, you're one of the greatest players ever played the game. LeBron James is a greater player than you, man. It just is what it is, bro. As great as you were, and the impact you had is unmatched in the times that you were living in. And you were before Mike, before LeBron, all that. But there's not going to be a question of who comes first historically, man. There should be some respect there. Based on that, just like everybody should respect everybody who's a tier higher than them, or played better than them, or accomplished more than them, won more than them. I'm riding with the Laker, man. I don't like it. I don't like it, bro. Not to say that he doesn't have a right to keep him off his list. He does. But it's just how it comes off. How it comes off. And a lot of that has to do with the media and how they frame it. I'm pretty sure he didn't just say, yo, I'm leaving Braun off the list, F him, and this is what we got. But nevertheless, it's worth saying. When you leave LeBron James off of that list, whether the media gets a hold of it or not, if you're naming 7 great basketball players that ever played the game, or 10 great basketball players that ever played the game, and you don't mention LeBron James, hate is going to be the first thing anybody thinks. That knows the game. That's hate, bro. It's hate. And to come from somebody who was the most coveted, the most biggest star before I was born, the biggest star to ever walk the earth playing basketball. He was the biggest star to ever walk the earth playing basketball. It just ain't right, because the same thing could have been coming his way when he was in the top. When he was with the big fro that was, waving in the air as he was doing his amazing stuff in the ABA and in the Sixers. I'm sure there was some guys who were up there who said, yeah, we gonna leave him off the list. Not necessarily because of anything that they seen, just because they hate the love that he got. And that's how this come off. That's how it comes off. Like, he hates the love LeBron get. You know what I mean? And they don't respect LeBron James because they don't like the fact that he had to maneuver a certain way in the new era. It's a new era. You know what I mean? It wasn't the same era. Now, if he would have did what he's doing now in your time, and of course, in the context of it being your time, you can go off and say this or that, leave him off a list, talk about KD the same way. But these are different times. If you were in these times with this free agency period, with this amount of money on the line, the trajectory of your career would have been different as well. So guys got to stop applying what doesn't fit in their times to what it is they expect from the people who do what they did in this time. Because it ain't the same times. It's different money. It's a different business. It's different demands upon the player. So it's like, for a guy like Dr. J, as a fan I'm a fan, I want to hear reverence amongst the greats. I want to hear reverence. Because there's a lot of guys who I'm asking to do their very best to help my team win a championship that ain't never going to get LeBron's level. We ain't never going to get to Dr. J's level. But they still need to damn well be able to look at those guys and say, I'm with them. We're going to go out there and rock. I'm going to do my best. And we're all on a team together. And it's just like, we need to see the reverence. From the young to the old, from the great to the good, all of that. It needs to be a certain respect level that's applied so that we can stay the course of progression. And I really believe that it's aligned, man. When you got Dr. J hating on LeBron, hating on KD, you got, Kareem disliking LeBron, disliking Shaq, or however that go. It just gets to a point where it's like, bro, how am I supposed to convince my 5-year-old son to have reverence for a 10-year-old boy who's a little better than him and try to be better than him and not have bad energy because of it, or whatever the case may be? How can I expect them to respect, if not for the respect that is applied from greats to great? Y'all got to set the standard. And so that's where I'm at with that. I'm sick of the petty beefs between the old heads. Your time is past and y'all still mad about stuff that happened when I was 6. Stop it, fam. Stop it. I keep hearing about Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan's beef, bro, y'all need to go ahead and work that out, man. Let it go. That stuff happened a whole adult ago, fam. Like, let it go. And it comes to mind, and I always feel like this is important to say, whether it's in sports, entertainment, or anything else. At the end of the day, when you look at people in circumstances in a certain time, the people that they were in conflict with are also right next to them. Just because y'all was ops doesn't mean you're not going to be remembered in the same breath every single time. It's like Pac and Biggie. We don't think of Pac without thinking Biggie. You don't think of Biggie without thinking Pac. It's just going to come to mind automatically. Historically, they're not separate. They might as well have been best friends because there's no separation. And so that's what it is in sports as well. I ain't thinking about Michael too much without thinking of Isaiah Thomas, without thinking of the people he went up against, Patrick Ewing and all these guys. I got to think about Reggie Miller when I think about Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? I'm going to definitely think about Scottie Pippen and the people on his team when I think about Michael Jordan. I don't want to hear about Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan having a beef in 2023. What are we talking about? And granted, there's some personal stuff there, family member stuff. All right. But at the end of the day, to have the petty beefs and the disrespect and the worst one for me is Scottie and Mike. Because every time Scottie get a chance to disrespect Mike publicly, he doing it. Now, maybe Mike deserved it. I don't know these people. But the point is, it's like it just comes out every single time. The beef is so ugly. And these are such great legends. And so that's where I'm at with it. I just think it's time to be a bit more mindful of the example once again. We need to remind ourselves of an example. Y'all the old heads, the elder statesmen. And there's a lot of youngsters watching, making 100 times more money. And what that means is they have less of a reason to fall in line with anything that makes any sense because they're going to be so damn wealthy and so damn young. So if they don't have people that they can look up to saying, I respect him because he shows respect to him, they ain't going to respect each other when they get to that point too. You know what I mean? 50 years from now, Paolo Banchero may be hating on Jalen Green. Like, why the hell do I want to see that? Why do I want to see that? I don't want to see that. That's the point. I need Dr. J and Scottie Pippen and all those guys to be an example to these guys. So they'll know how to act when they get to that point. When they got a bunch of 20-year-olds watching them. Trying to figure out how to respect what matters, what don't, in the midst of $3 billion contracts or whatever it's going to be coming down on pipeline. So, like, that's where I'm at with it, man. People got to stop. And this is going to sound crazy, but this is just how I believe. This is what I truly believe. People got to stop putting money over the ethics of what it is that they're doing. Because that's really what it comes down to. When people value money, put up reverence over money and success as it pertains to making money over the art and sport of what it is they're doing. And that trickles down to all these different opinions and all this other stuff because that's where the priority is. So he made money. Okay, so I should be jealous of him because he made money. Like, the money ain't even what we're measuring. It's the sport itself that we need to be measuring. But since you put so much reverence on money, you're going to respect somebody because they have money. You're going to hate on somebody because they have money. And it's like none of those things should be applied to those people for that reason. We should be applying that respect based on how they're treating each other, how they respect the game. You know what I mean? How they're able to stand down and respect somebody who just simply is greater than them. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that we should be saying, okay, that's somebody we're looking up to. Not because he made $500 million in the NBA. Cool. Great. And the owner got 4 times that, and it means nothing. What does mean something is that these guys respect their legacy, respect the example that they have to the younger generations, and to understand that context as it pertains to what I respect in my day. This ain't your damn day. This is not your day. So stop asking people from your day or from today to do things that would not work today at all. It ain't even possible. If I'm trying to gain your respect, and the only way to do that is to do things like yesteryear, you need to look around at the arena they're in and realize the arena ain't allowing them to do things like yesteryear. So that's what I got to say about that. I've been on record saying that I thought LeBron James probably used his power a little too much moving teams around. Maybe that gave the wrong example to some of the guys that tried to follow him and ended up doing some things that ultimately made some people mad, or however you look at that, in the NBA and locked up the market or whatever, made super teams, however you look at it. But at the end of the day, that's possible by the collective bargaining agreements that have been in place over the last several years that were not in place in the days of those guys that we've been mentioning, who I think haven't been very positive in regards to how they talk about the people in the new generations. It wasn't possible, fam. And it makes you come off as if you're jealous of the fact that these guys are able to make all this damn money. You know what I mean? And that's what it really comes down to. It's the Pelly jealousy that I feel comes from the classism and the prioritization of classism. It trickles into different arenas and different subjects. And this is what I see there. Guys first value money so damn much that they hate on the guys who have it. It's like, yo, that's what's wrong with us as a whole. And our whole damn world got that problem right now. Doing anything for money, letting go of everything for money, putting everything aside for money, going into horrible spaces that deteriorate their synopsis for money, and then wonder why they have mental health issues. It's because you chose money over the betterment of your own brain. All of this is something that I know is bigger than basketball. But I do need those in basketball to understand the examples that they're displaying for others everywhere. Because you guys are some of the most recognizable faces in the world, and your behavior is mimicable. You guys are, in fact, role models, whether you want to be or not. That is the facts, whether you like it or not. So put down the petty beefs, man. Stop saying that guy's better because he's able to benefit from the times he's in. That's all it is. Bro made $300 million because he happens to be 25 this year. Ain't nobody's fault. Blame God. Or more importantly, stop putting so much of an emphasis on money that you value it over the things that actually make a person a great player, or a great person, or a decent family member, or a decent whatever the hell. You can go after money, you can prioritize getting money, you can do all these different things, but once you start applying respect or hate to those who receive money based on the times, then you have lost your way completely, and you forgot what the hell you were actually measuring. If it doesn't apply, throw it away. But it looks like it does, and that's why I said it. And that's what it is, man. Guys are making a lot of money right now. It's easy to be jealous because people love money. People love money than they love their family members. People love money more than they love their soul. And so when you get a lot of it, you best believe it's going to be some people looking at you like, I did what I did in my time, and we didn't make a tenth of that. We worked hard, and we had this and that, and we're not getting kickbacks. It's like, yes, none of that's fair. All of that's bad. And you also still need to be an example of how hot not to hate on younger humans who are doing what it is that they watch you do. You know, I look at what Shaq used to say about David Robinson back in the day. He didn't like David Robinson throughout his playing years because David Robinson treated him however he treated him when he was a kid. He met David Robinson when he was a child, and I guess David Robinson was having a bad day, didn't give him the best vibes. Shaq held on to that his whole career. But that's what it is. Not to say that Shaq had that right, probably not, but that's what it is. When you're that recognizable, that great, any little thing is going to define who you are in people's eyes. And so if you're going to allow yourself to be petty and childish, or however I say it's high schoolish in regards to this type of stuff, when your names is as great as these dudes, when you're Isaiah Thomas, Scottie Pippen, you can't be seen that way, man. You can't let these kids see that and then run off thinking that that's the way it is. That ain't how it's supposed to be, man. It's not. That guy, I can stick up for LeBron James. I got, a couple of dollars to my name. He's got billions. I'm not reverencing him based on his money. So when somebody's doing something that I don't agree with in regards to him, I can come to his defense. When he's doing something I don't agree with, I can say, yo, I'm gonna hold you accountable, because the money don't come into play. You got $5, $10. The money can be given, the money can be taken away. Who's the man? Who is the person we're talking about? You know what I mean? And so that's where I'm at with it. I ain't jealous of nobody, but if for some reason that spirit of jealousy got into me, it needs not be pointed at something that doesn't respect the ability to manifest without something just simply being given or taken from me. LeBron James could give me $1 billion right now. Suddenly I'm a billionaire. Would you respect me more? For what? I haven't done anything. He just gave me something. That's it. Not to say that that's how people get their money, because they earn their money, but the point is either you have it or you don't. How does that change anything at all? And if we're measuring basketball, we're measuring shots made and defensive. What are we talking about? Why am I hating on this dude because he made more money than me? That ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. Did he hit the baskets? Did he make the shots? Did he win the championship? These are the things that we're talking about. These are the things that really, truly matter. And the money is just a byproduct of the clock and where we're at on it. So that's what I got to say about that, man. I just want to see guys respect each other a little better. It ain't perfect. You know what I mean? Not everybody matures the same way. Sometimes guys never mature, and you see high school stuff all the way into their 70s. But at the end of the day, when you were rich and famous and got all these different eyes on you and all of that, there is a respect that we want to see you apply to not only what it is that you do and your peers, but to yourself. A guy like Scottie Pippen, I say, man, stop making yourself look so damn bad by dogging your teammate every time you open your mouth, sir. It just makes people look at you, and it takes away your credibility every single time you do it, bro. That pettiness, whatever Mike did, he got to get out of your head, man. That's got to get out of your head. So you can respect your legacy and allow us to respect it too. Scottie Pippen was not just some guy on the Bulls team. He was literally one of the greatest defenders to ever play the game. One of the 50 greatest players of all time. But every time he disrespects Michael Jordan, it just takes a little bit of credibility away from you. I really believe that. Because once you disrespect Michael Jordan, you're disrespecting the Bulls dynasty, for which you had everything to do with. So stop doing it, man. Please. So that's where I'm at with that, man. I ain't saying everybody got to sing Kumbaya. I'm just saying we should at least get to the Kum. Can we start with the beginning of the song? Just for the sake of these little kids who are watching, who can't wait to taunt each other and give each other bad energy. We see it all the time. Little 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, they, laying the ball up in each other's faces, pushing each other around and stuff. It gets to a point where it's like, yeah, they can absorb that and be cool with it in their generation, but they gotta know how far it actually is supposed to go by way of the examples of those who know how to offset that with solidarity with one another, with goodwill toward one another, all of that. It just can't be about the taunting, because these kids are very comfortable in conflict. It's the generation, they're very comfortable, spin the block, all that. So if you're going to get in conflict, they don't register the same way in these generations' head. They're going to take it all away and be fine with it. As to where y'all would have a big to-do over beef. They ain't going to have no problems with beef. They're going to beef and go play basketball. And see, that's where the disconnect comes in. When you show kids from this generation that conflict is okay, they're going to take conflict to a much more evolved place. So that's why example is so important. So anyway, that's what I want to say, man. I hope that I was able to resonate with whoever. The phone call still ain't came my way. Good. It may allow me to get this content out, but that's just on my heart, man. Like I said, I might not be I might not have the G4 status to even speak on this. I probably am the worst person. I'm no basketball player, but I'm a human being who's aware of young people, who's aware of the prioritization of money and how it can send people in the wrong directions as it pertains to who they should be jealous of and who they should not, which is really nobody, but you get what I'm trying to say. Point is, that should not even be what you're measuring at all. Now, no one has confirmed that they're measuring this. Dr. J didn't say I hate LeBron James, nor did he say that I hate LeBron James because he had more money. That's me saying that it comes off that way every time one of the old heads, the older guys who we know weren't making that type of money, start hating on these dudes that are billionaires. When we know, just like they know, if they were 25 in this era, they too would be making $300 million. And that's the hard part for everybody to absorb. If you're not Dave Bing or Magic Johnson, you went on to make billions of dollars, you still got to work after your career ended. You ain't Michael Jordan and make billions of dollars after your career. You still got to work. So I know these guys hate seeing these youngsters knowing they ain't half as good as him, knowing they'll never have to work again. A guy like Jaylen Brown will not work again. He don't have to work again, ever. And so that's hard for a guy. Maybe a guy like Dr. J didn't feel like he got that kind of money in the past. Maybe he didn't accomplish that kind of money. But that's not what we're measuring when we're talking about Dr. J and Matt and Kobe and all these great names. We're not. Your money that you made is still a fraction of Ballmer, still a fraction of Genie, still, you know what I'm saying? It's not. You still have somebody to be jealous of if we're looking at the money. Let's put it like that. If you really want to prioritize money, there's money out there. So let's just be real about that. At the end of the day, man, I just want to see good basketball, good examples for the youngsters. I hope to be that in my camera as well as I attach myself to the NBA, for which I didn't play. And I hope people understand that not everything needs to be said by everybody. So I did want everybody to know that I'm probably not qualified to say it, but I ain't hearing nobody else say it, and it's in my head. And that's the point. Salute the Kobe Minute. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching.